A 19-year-old girl was found dead in the freezer. The hotel is affiliated with the police department. The hotel bio research place is affiliated. The crematory place is affiliated. Everything that about that hotel is affiliated with that police department in Rosemont. They have the same address. 2 live videos that was posted by those 2 people that's affiliated in gangs, posted live videos in details about what happened to K'Kenneka, what was going to happen to K'Kenneka. All that's facts to the case. Everything else is the images, is made up, said, and everything. Y'all people have to understand. Y'all got to figure out what's true and what's fake. And even the fake shit, I keep telling y'all over and over, the fake stuff also is telling us the real deal.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. If Security K'd Kenneka, who carried her? All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I'm here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, if Security K'd Kenneka, then who carried her? You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, I am here and I am back. And I want to talk about if Security had K'd Kenneka, then who carried her? That is the question that I am asking the people. If K'Kenneka was KD'd by the security personnel, well, then who carried her? Because see, the thing is, peoples, K'Kenneka had to be carried, and she didn't walk herself inside that freezer on her own. Peoples, that is just not possible. It is just not possible, peoples, for K'Kenneka Jenkins to walk herself into a freezer and lay down and die. And so, peoples, I wanted to shed light again up on this particular part of the K'Kenneka Jenkins case. And so let's get right into it, peoples. Without further ado, if K'Kenneka was KD'd by security, then who carried her, peoples? Part 2. Let's get into it, peoples. Let's go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. If Security K'd Kenneka, then who carried her? Part 2. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I'm here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, if Security K'd Kenneka, then who carried her? Part 2. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, this is going to be a absolute fantastic live on tonight. And there is a surprise that's coming. I'm not going to give away the surprise, but there is going to be a surprise for your eyes, peoples. And I'm just waiting. I'm waiting, peoples. I'm just here shooting my shot. That's all. That's all I'm doing, peoples, is just here shooting my shot. That's all I'm doing. But there is a surprise that is coming, peoples. And when it happens, then we're going to be one of the ones who's going to be a part of it as well. And so until then, peoples, I'm just here. I'm just shooting my shot. I'm just here. I'm just do what I do. Just do what I do, peoples. What I've been doing for almost the past 7 years. Just here shooting my shot. And that's it. And that's all that I can do, peoples, is just shoot my shot. That's it. That's all. And see, peoples, you know, I cannot be concerned with a lot of the things that the other people say and do. Because at the end of the day, everybody has their narratives. Everybody has that of what they feel happened to K'Kenneka, which is okay, you know, because everybody's entitled to say or believe what they want to say and believe. And that's all that it is, peoples. And so oh my God, I'm having trouble coming in. Actually, okay, so are you going to take me home? Okay, cool. So you're going to give me the library? Okay, good. Got the library. All right. So let me download the audio part to this. I'm trying to download the videos, peoples, and stuff. I download the video version of it. I have to download the audio. So I got to clear some of these videos before I can be able to start doing some more stuff. But my videos is all clocked up on my StreamYard. So I got to delete some. But as I was saying today, peoples, you know, everybody has their narratives, and I get it. And I have just literally been asking the question forever and a day. And so this time around, people, so I came with a different angle. But even with the different angle that I came with, you know, it gets you to think, it gets you to really wonder, you know, what's going on. And so all I have been doing, people, was just asking questions, and I just been shooting my shot. That's it. Now, you know how we do it, people. I mean, and it ain't no reason for anybody to get upset and anybody to get all into their feelings and stuff, because again, all what I'm saying is my narrative, is my mantra, it's my opinion, you know, based upon that was given to us and things. And I've always said that you have to piece this thing together, peoples. You know, this case is like a giant puzzle, and you have to take it and you have to piece it together. Now, when you piece it together, peoples, you got to be able to make sense of it. You know, it's definitely have to be able to make sense. Now, if you can't make sense of the things that you're saying, well, then the things that you're saying is nonsense, because it doesn't make no sense. You got to make sense of the things that you're saying. Wow. Okay. I see. I'm sitting up here. I'm looking at something. I'm looking at something right now. It just caught my attention real quick. But Michael Jordan, he's not going to be with his wife for her birthday because he's preparing for some type of tournament or something that he's going to be involved in. But I thought that he was retired. I mean, help me if I'm wrong, but I thought that he was retired. But yeah, maybe so. I don't know, but you know, I'm not into all of the Michael Jordan type of things and stuff. You know, I liked him when he was playing basketball, but I don't like him off court because he has a funky attitude. All right, this video is this video is complete. Let me make sure that I got it before I delete it. Okay, yeah, I got it. So now let me go ahead and delete this, and let me go ahead and download the other things. All right, people. So, here, get away. Okay. All right, people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing right now. That's all. Let me go ahead and take this off, and let me share my screen real quick. Guys, get a sense, see what I'm doing. See, this is what I have to do, people. So let me go back to StreamYard. So as you can see, my memory, where's my magnifier? So let me turn on my magnifier. So put that in a plus sign. There we go. There's my magnifier. All right. Shut that off. So as you guys can see, down here, you have a storage. So I'm at 40.7 hours out of 50. So that means I got to delete some of these videos. So that's what I'm going to be doing real quick. So I've already downloaded this right here. If Security K'd Kenneka, then who carried there? So I'm going to delete that. That's going to free up some more memory right there. Now I'm going to get the other videos. Download this real quick so I can at least make up some space, because that's the last thing I want to do is overgo my space that's allocated to me. Then my lives won't be recorded. Then I'll be up shit creek. Well, actually I won't, because it's recorded up on YouTube, but I have to pay to download it from YouTube. I like StreamYard because you can download both the audio and video on separate files. And how I always like to download both. Well, in actuality, I don't need both, but I like both because, see, like with the audio, it gives a very crystal clear cut audio of the recording. Crystal clear. Sometimes the audio doesn't come clear when you do audio and video together, but just the audio separately as a separate track, it's a lot crystal clear. You don't ask me why that is, because I mean, they both are being recorded, but it's just my experience sometimes. And that's why when I'm videotaping, I have a separate recorder that picks up the audio. So I can merge the sounds together if I want to, or I can have it separate. But StreamYard does it for you, so which is wonderful, wonderful. That's why I love StreamYard, because it gives you that option. All right, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get in here, download these little 30-minute clips and things, so I can at least have it downloaded on my computer and stuff, and get in here and edit some videos. But people, tonight, I'm so excited. Tonight, we're going to take a look at this K'd's Jenkins case. But tonight, a major surprise is going to happen. And I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to get word as to when it's going to happen. And when it happens, people, we're going to be a part of it. But something is going to happen tonight. And I'm not going to give it away, but you guys will see. Because I was hearing it, and I was getting excited when I was hearing it. But like always, people, I'm here to shoot my shot. That's it. Here to shoot my shot. Everybody's welcome to come on and shoot your shot. But shoot your shot about the K'd's K'd case. That's what we're talking about. And so where I left off people's earlier, and I'm going to be scrolling through some videos and things. Where I left off is that Jeffrey Feiger told us the truth. Eating, so I hope I'm not smacking too much. But Jeffrey Feiger had told us the truth. People, when he had showed the door handle to the freezer that K'd's was placed in. I want to go back to that. I want to go back to that video, peoples, that he was speaking up on, because Jeffrey Feiger is an attorney, and he had to be honest. He couldn't come up on national TV and fake and shake about this case, because he had to go to court and he had to testify as to the authenticity of his statements and everything, of their findings. And the last thing you want to do is go to court and lie, and then you get caught. You can be held in contempt. You can lose your law license and stuff. All right, there's a lot of stuff that can go on. And that's the last thing that you want to do, is go to court and lie. So as you do your investigation, based upon your findings. And that's why I talk about the K'd's case, because I talk about the K'd's case based upon my findings. That's it. That's all. So there's no need for nobody to get upset or anything or get into their feelings, because this is my findings. This is what I believe based upon my research, based upon my findings. Hello, Kenyatta Beavers. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on today. Kenyatta say, blessed evening, Mr. EJ and everyone. Well, it's good to see all of you guys coming back and chiming out. And what I want to say to the fathers out there, people's happy Father's Day to you. Our day is coming up on this Sunday, and so I hope you fathers are being fathers to your children, and you want to be fathers. I hope you guys are being fathers to your children. But it's Father's Day, and so you guys going out and enjoy yourself. This is our day. This is our time. And so, get you a home cooked meal, or, go out and get you a store-bought meal or whatever. However you do it, enjoy your day, because that's your day. And it's my sincere prayer that all of the fathers literally will put whatever differences aside that you have with your baby and mama, and look at the child and spend time with your children. Well, spend time with your children. If you have children, about happy Father's Day to you, all of the fathers, all of the male fathers, and all of the female fathers, because you guys take upon the roles as being fathers as well. And so I want to say happy Father's Day to you as well. And so people, let's go back and let's take a look at this here. Let's take a look at Jeffrey Feiger. And I'm going to move this over here. Let's take a look at Jeffrey Feiger and what he had to say, peoples. Let's take a look at that. And I'm happy to say, peoples, look at this. The numbers is incredible. Y'all see that? 198 views within the last 23 hours of me posting this live. That's good. You guys are coming in and you guys are giving me the views. I'm loving that. And so we're going to dive in this tonight, peoples. We're going to dive in this tonight because my question is, how did K'dKenneka get out from the room? Because we know K'dKenneka was in the room. We just don't know how she got out the room. And then it was always said that security had killed K'dKenneka. Well, then, my question is simply this. If Security K'd Kenneka, then who carried her? Because she certainly didn't get into the freezer on her own. Somebody had to carry her. And she didn't walk in there on her own, peoples. And then the thing is this. It was stated back in the day that K'dKenneka was found by the dock area, not found in the freezer. Now, I don't believe this video footage when it shows a girl walking towards a freezer. Because when you look at the dynamics and how to get to the freezer, peoples, you got to help me to make that make sense. And it doesn't make sense when we are looking at the areas in which she had to walk through in order to get to the freezer. Now, this is the kitchen that she supposedly had walked in, as you can see. This is the kitchen that she's supposed to have walked in. And so this seems too scripted to me, peoples, because all of these open doors that she could have walked in and she made a straight beeline straight to the freezer. And for what? That never made no sense to me, peoples. She walked right into this kitchen and she made a straight beeline right back there to that freezer. Well, at least that's what they want us to believe. All of these places that she was walking, and frankly, to tell you the truth, I don't believe that this young lady that was walking was ever inebriated. I don't think she was drunk. I don't think she was K'dKenneka. That's just my opinion. Because again, peoples, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this, but I just wanted to lay down the foundation. Just think about this for one moment. Look at this picture here, peoples. Okay, people. So I had to come in. I had to interject for one moment in things because I need to just like literally talk to you guys for one moment. Let's look at this kitchen picture. Now, we had several YouTubers that come to the community stating that they had reworked this kitchen because the Pharaoh scan didn't exactly match up with this particular kitchen. Now, and I'm glad that they said that. I'm glad that they said that because they're on to something. See, by them saying peoples that the kitchen was augmented and that you can take out different pieces and put different pieces in, well, then that says something right there. And it says that if they can go and they can edit the video footage to realign the kitchen and realign the freezer, well, then that's telling you something right there, peoples, right? So I'm glad that they said that, and I'm glad that they came on record to say that and stuff, peoples, because see, at the end of the day, if we really think about this, peoples, the question is simply this: why would the establishment go to great lengths to go and cover up this girl's death? Why would they go to great lengths? See, it doesn't matter, peoples, whether you believe that she walked herself into the freezer. It doesn't matter if you believe that she walked the halls of that establishment. For the mere fact that you got content creators stating that the kitchen and the freezer was reworked because of the Pharaoh scan. The Pharaoh scan did not show the different changes that was made. And so by them saying that, peoples, what they're saying is that the establishment, the establishment went on to change things. And they changed things for a reason, because they needed to cover up this girl's death. Now, peoples, if you guys would have went to my live on the other day and you watched my live, peoples, when you would have come to discover, peoples, I said you would have come to discover that TM already knew the play. I said TM already knew the play. And the play was, peoples, is that she was already there. Peoples, go back and watch I Am K'Kenneka. Go back and watch I Am K'Kenneka. And then go back and watch K'Kenneka, The Evidence is in Your Face. And then on last night, peoples, I had played all of the transmissions in this case. And it says K'Kenneka Jenkins, police radio, 911 calls, and police reports. I played all of the police reports and I played all of the 911 calls, peoples. I played everything for you to hear what they had to say, peoples. Now, if you ever listen to the 911 call, peoples, you know that is not a real 911 call, because see, a true 911 call will have beeps. And then the dispatcher would not have a conversation with you. And the dispatcher would not go off unhinged and give you advice on waiting a day or two to go ahead and seek out for your child. And then there was no urgency or no emergency in TM's voice. Well, which clearly shows you, peoples, that there was no urgency there. It was no emergency there because she already knew the play. She already knew that K'Kenneka Jenkins was already deceased, peoples. She already knew that. See, the thing is, peoples, I'm glad that the YouTubers had stated that the kitchen was reworked and the freezer was reworked, because they are along the lines of saying it was a cover up. Because see, the thing is, peoples, if the kitchen was reworked or even the freezer was reworked, but then what they're telling me is that they don't believe that K'Kenneka Jenkins walked herself into that freezer and laid down and died. And see, that's the thing, people. You know, it doesn't matter what the people's narrative is, because it's what they're saying that just makes me so happy. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? See, the thing is, only the hilarious and nefarious people who say, yes, that was K'Kenneka walking into this kitchen and walking directly and back into that freezer is hilarious and nefarious. And see, those are the type of people that I don't want to have a conversation with, peoples. Because, see, that is so stupid. It's so stupid, peoples. If we think with logic, peoples, logic dictates that if you got some Hennessy in your system, you ain't walking for hours on end. Now, let me tell you something, peoples. Now, this may shock the mess out of you, but this is actual factual truth. When you seen the supposed K'Kenneka walking the halls of that establishment, you never seen a lot of people in the halls. When Monifa, Shemaya, Bree, Irene, and the likes was walking the halls, you never seen any of the other patrons that you have seen earlier in the day or earlier in the night. You didn't see them, peoples. You didn't see the beverage manager. You didn't see France Convey in all of the video footage, did you? You didn't see the maintenance man. You didn't see all of the other employees. You didn't see the maids. Because, see, people's the thing is, work don't stop just because it's night. Do you understand what I'm saying? Work don't stop because it's night. It's always somebody roaming the halls of that establishment. It's always somebody at the front desk. It's always somebody doing something in an establishment that has the capacity to hold over 3,000 people. Do you understand what I'm saying? On any given day or night. And we know that weekend they were hosting this medical student thing where the students can come down and they can play on cadavers and stuff and learn how to cut up on cadavers and things of that nature. Oh, yes, peoples. The CP was involved in all of that madness. But then if truth be told, peoples, we have seen the fake coroner come down a day before the supposed K'Kenneka Jenkins came up missing. Why was he there, peoples? Why was all of these big people there? We seen them on video footage, people. They were there. So why was he there? Oh my God, people, see, these are the things that the people are not bringing out. And so it's time to put a cap up on this, peoples. It is time to go ahead and shut down the hilarious and nefarious and all of these hilarious and nefarious narratives. Because, see, the thing is, peoples, K'Kenneka Jenkins is not omnipresent. Do you understand what I'm saying? She's not omnipresent. And then you guys get all worked up, tied up, and tangled up. And yeah, well, you see the time change. The time stamp skips and stuff. Well, yes, it does skip. I said, yes, it does. Because, see, peoples, let me surmise to you that this video footage is not in the correct order in which some of this stuff was supposed to have played out. Do you understand what I'm saying? I surmise to you, peoples, that a lot of this video footage didn't happen at the time and on the day that they said that it happened. See, they gave you that of what they gave you because they wanted you to follow their certain timeline. But see, peoples, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the video footage along with the case files, along with this hilarious and nefarious bullshit of a narrative that they gave you in the case files. And I surmise to you, peoples, that it doesn't line up. And even the hilarious and nefarious kids that gave a narrative in this particular case, the narrative doesn't even line up, peoples. It doesn't line up. Now, see, you can't say that it wasn't no play up on the establishment part, because see, the thing is, if there is a time skimp, and then you're saying that they played with the kitchen footage and they played with the freezer footage, well, then what you're saying is that it is a major conspiracy and that they covered it up. And so we agree on that part, because you are absolutely right. They covered it up. But see, peoples, what I want to try to get you to see and understand is everybody is not K'Kenneka. Everyone who you see in a jean jacket outfit is not K'Kenneka. It's not. It's not K'Kenneka. Now, peoples, when we go back to Irene's live and we look at Irene's live, peoples, you got to ask yourself the question: how in God's name could all of this stuff happen within just an hour worth of time? See, that's the thing that nobody is asking. Because see, if you want to believe that K'Kenneka Jenkins ever walked the halls of that establishment, well, then you have to explain to me, how did all of this stuff happen within an hour of time? Because see, now the narrative is simply this: they came into the establishment at 1:13. 1:13. So why do you believe that they came in at 1:13? Why? Because the time said it? Well, if the time skips and jumps in, you know, she's on the elevator and it jumps from 2:30 to 3:30 and stuff, and she's still in the same place, what is that telling you? What is that telling you? So if the time can jump and she's on an elevator or she's over in some type of hall and the time jumps, because all of you admit that. All of you admit that the time jumps. But because of the time jumps, you want to take that as law and says, okay, well, the time jumps. Let me just disregard that and let me just move forward with where she is when the time jumps. Well, people, if the time jumped, well, then that means that she could not be in the place where they say she was. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even if the time jumps at least 1 minute or 2 minutes or whatever, peoples, let me say, you cannot put someone in where they never been. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if the time jumps, you cannot take that as law and then move on from that time and then go forward to try to give a narrative to this case, because now you're out of time. Your time doesn't match up with your narrative. Do you understand what I'm saying? If she's at the elevator and the time jumps 5, 10, 30 minutes or whatever the case may be, peoples, she is far gone. She's far gone. And why would anybody want to think that a girl named K'Kenneka Jenkins will be walking the halls of that establishment? Because see, the thing is, peoples, is that, and I surmise to you, there is nothing that ever states that K'Kenneka walked the halls of that establishment on the night. Because if you go back and you look at the news report, the news reporter said that she was there on the 8th. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you go back and look at the testimonies of the people, everybody is saying that she was there on the 8th. Nobody's ever said that she was there on the 9th, peoples. You said that. You said that. But the news reporter, and go back and watch my lives, peoples, because I played back the news reporter. And a news reporter said that she was walking the halls. She came on the 8th. That's what they said. She came on the 8th. But see, the thing is, people, let me surmise to you that she never came on the 8th. She never did. See, people, let me tell you, this video footage was filmed over several days. And the kids was in the same attire for several days. Several days. Because it was a hit on K'Neka's life, peoples. It was a hit on K'Neka's life. And not only on K'Neka's life, peoples, but other girls' life as well. It was a hit. And they were instrumental in taking people's organs. See, that's why the establishment got involved. See, you can't say that France Cave and all of them unalived this girl, and then the establishment went and protected France Cave and what they supposedly had done. No, people. This was more sinister than that. Because see, the thing is, if France Cave did it, as you guys proclaim, explain it to me. How did it happen? Because if the girl, as you guys say, walked herself into the freezer and France Cave was supposed to did something, well, then what you're basically telling me is they allowed her to walk herself in the freezer, then they came back and then they assaulted her and then they took her out. That doesn't make no sense, people. See, I had a content creator sit up here and I listened to his live and stuff, and he swore up and down France Cave and this other guy had did something to K'Neka and stuff. But people, let me tell you something. See, he said that she was commandeered in the hallway. Well, if K'Neka was ever commandeered in the hallway, peoples, it ain't no way she's walking no halls of that establishment. Because if the perpetrators have her, they ain't letting her go. Do you understand what I'm saying? I said, if the perpetrators have her, they ain't letting her go. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't walking nowhere. They ain't letting her go, peoples. K'Neka was in that hall at the establishment. She definitely was. She definitely was. She was in that hall, peoples. Right there by the stairs. Right there by the stairs. She was in a hall. And I believe it was at that point that she got commandeered. That's what I believe. After going back and reviewing all of the video footage and everything, I believe that that's where she got commandeered. Now, I don't believe, I don't believe for the likes of me, peoples, that, you know, she was down there walking, staggering drunk. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But I do believe that she was down there in that area. Now, was she walking? I can't really say. But I know she was carried. She was carried down there in that particular area. Do you understand what I'm saying? I do believe that K'Neka was carried down in that hallway. She was commandeered in that hallway. Now, how she got there, I don't know. I can't tell you, peoples, because I wasn't there. I wasn't there. How she got there, I don't know. But what I can say unequivocally and undeniably, that she was carried in that hallway on the lower level. That she was. I believe that K'Neka was transported in several different places in that establishment. I do believe that. I do believe that they carried her from one end to the other end and things. I do believe that. I do believe that K'Kenneka was assaulted in the laundry room. I do believe that. I don't believe that K'Kenneka was alive when being carried to the freezer. I don't believe that. So now, several things that I do believe. I do believe that they had carried her. They didn't take her in no cart. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that K'Kenneka Jenkins was ever in a cart. I do believe that she was carried and she was transported from one end to the other of that establishment in different places and things. I do believe that she was alive, and I do believe that she was assaulted on several occasions. I don't believe that she was instantly killed. I don't believe that. Some of that video footage, I do believe is actual, factual, and true. But the majority of it, I do believe is bogus. I don't believe the narrative that K'Kenneka was roaming all down on the lower level. I don't believe that. I don't believe that K'Kenneka got off the elevator and was staggering drunk. I don't believe that. I believe when K'Kenneka was in the halls, she was carried in the halls. And I do believe that she was carried into different places in that establishment. And then ultimately got KD. And I believe that Carl Nesbitt did it. And I do believe that TM and Lenore was there along with her friends, Monifa and Shemaya. I do believe that. That's what I believe, people. That is what my investigation has taken me to. Now, K'Kenneka was there on the 6th. She was there on the 6th. Her mom even said it. She was there on the 6th. You go back and watch the live, she literally outlines it for you. Literally, she outlines it for you as to when K'Kenneka was there and when she came up missing. Now, my narrative is simply this. K'Kenneka was there at the establishment because K'Kenneka knew some high-powered people. And I've always stated this many times over, and I'm going to state it again. K'Kenneka was there at the time to when Bill Murray and son was at the establishment. Bill Murray, I surmise, was there to finalize the deal for the Caddyshack. And his son was accompanying him. And the video that I have saw was K'Kenneka was in the hallway, was in the general area. And Bill Murray and his son was there. I've always stated that. Now, what happened after that, I can't tell you. I don't know if she was there seeing Bill Murray or, but he was there. His son was there. And she was there. The girls was there. Monifa, Shemaya, Irene, all of them, they were there. They were there at the establishment. But you clearly seen K'Kenneka, conversing with his son. K'Kenneka was down there to meet up with number 3 and number 4. These hard-powered people who was from California. One was California, and one was from New York. So whatever taking place at that particular time, Kanika was already down there meeting up with these people because that's what she did, you know. So from the 6th, Kanika came up missing. Because if you go back and you look at my lives, you go back and you look at what Kanika's auntie had said. Kanika's auntie had said that Kanika came up missing on the 6th. It was stated that Kanika was there at the establishment and she slept at the establishment with someone. Well, see, people from the 6th leading into the 7th, we haven't seen no more of Kanika. You know, we haven't seen no more Kanika. Now, that thing of when Kanika was in the room because Irene had this little get together thing with the girls. That wasn't on the 9th, people. That was on the 7th. That was when Kanika was there with Shemaya and Monifa because we saw the video. And that was the last that we seen of Kanika. Now, when they had first posted the pictures and things, had went and I had looked and I had checked the metadata from the website of the Crown Plaza when those pictures of Kanika was taken, the deceased pictures. The metadata showed that the pictures was taken on the night of the 7th. It was around the 7 and 8 o'clock hour. It was a long span because remember, her body lied and stayed in the freezer. And I've shown you the different positions that they had the girl's body in. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've shown you the different positions that they had the body in. Because remember, in one position, there was a piece of ice that was under her toe. And then the ice melted. And then the ice turned into a frozen puddle of water. Then another position, her hair, she was sitting upright. They had her sit upright and her hair is all in her face. Then another position, they took the hair and took it from her face and things. You know, so they had that girl in there and they was staging the body and taking all of these pictures and stuff. Now, I'm not saying that Kanika was dead from the 6th up to the 7th. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I said that they reported her missing. They reported her missing on the 6th. Go back and watch my lines because I pointed all of this stuff out, people. So I pointed all of this stuff out. Kanika was there with Monifa, Shemaya, Irene. And she took, and Shemaya had took the snapshot with Kanika in the bathroom in room 926. They were there several days earlier than this, what they call a reenactment. Because it wasn't only Kanika who had died, people. It was other girls who had died. But that was the play. That was the setup. That was the original time. Now, a lot of people say, oh, no, they were at the Marriott. No, they was not at the Marriott. They were at the Crown Plaza. And they were there days before because that's why you had the family statement says that she was missing more than 36 hours. It was beyond 36 hours. They made the missing persons report. Now, was Kenneka Jenkins already deceased Well, not until the 7th, peoples. K'Kenneka was alive all the way up until about the 7 o'clock hour on the 7th. And then if you go back and listen to the content creators that I have shown you, well, they even had to admit that from the 7th leading into the 8th, that the people had came. They were there a day earlier than the 9th. Casey Cloy Over Sanchez Medina has even stated that. I gave you the records. I let you hear what she had to say. And she was the guru of the K'Kenneka Jenkins case. And there was other content creators that stated the same thing. And I've let you hear what they said. So they agreed with me, peoples. They agreed with me. They never mentioned the 9th. The 9th was only to go ahead and have this big old enactment, because it ain't no reenactment, because nothing. See, when you say reenactment, what you're saying is that all of this stuff played out exactly how it happened beforehand. It ain't no reenactment, peoples. It's an enactment. It is a cover-up, because they didn't think that this thing was going to get this big. But you got to understand, K'Kenneka was playing with some powerful people. She knows some powerful people. Her father knew powerful people. TM knew powerful people. The gangs worked with the establishment. That's what the lady had told you in the preview. The gangs is affiliated with the establishment. The family is affiliated with the establishment. The friends is affiliated with the establishment. Irene used to work there. So everybody knew the familiar, it was familiar with the establishment. And then you got all of these different narratives. Well, K'Kenneka, she had saw a murder. She had saw the murder of Andrew Holmes' daughter. And everybody says that she was supposed to be in a witness protection program. Well, she was in a witness protection program, people. Do you not think that she would be put up somewhere and not just exposed to the public? That is so stupid. And what was so fascinating about Andrew Holmes' daughter getting killed? If you looked at her body and you looked at the signs that she had wore on herself, peoples, if you looked at the symbol that Andrew Holmes' daughter had wore on her person, she was affiliated with the Illuminati. She was affiliated with the Masons, the Eastern Stars, and other entities, peoples. She wore a sign on her. She was a high-ranking person because her father is a high-ranking person. Now, see, I've already talked about the significance of the signs, peoples. I talked about that. You've seen P. Diddy make the triangle when he was standing up there with T.D. Jakes. Y'all seen that? You seen how he made the triangle sign when he was standing up there and stuff. You got to understand that K'Kenneka's father was a high-ranking gangster. TM is a high-ranking member of the gang. Then all of her family, all of her family was included in the gangs. FBG Duck mother had told you about that and how they used to have interactions and how they were almost at sparring at each other and things. So do you understand now, peoples? I have proven my stance already. I've proven my stance. Because, see, the thing is, you can come up with all the conspiracy theories and whatnot, but see, I guarantee you that all of the video footage that these people have and that they're playing, you will never see K'Kenneka as what they stated in all of these different areas of the establishment, because they got the video footage. People, they gave you what they wanted to give you. But now if anything ever happened in a manner to which they're trying to say in this particular case, well, then let it be. Because the thing is, the girls had told you that they had left K'Kenneka in front of the establishment. They all came downstairs and they forgot her keys. So then they went back up. Well, in the case files, they said, some people said that Monifa and Shemaya stayed and partied. Well, why would they want to stay up there and party and then they have their friend who supposed to have been drunk and out of her mind? Why would they both leave her in the hallway? So if that be the case, peoples, where is the video footage of Shemaya and Monifa down in the hallway, downstairs in the main lobby with K'Kenneka? You never seen it. You never seen it. What? So then it was stated that, oh, well, then they left K'Kenneka outside the room. And then they both came in to retrieve her keys and phone. But see, peoples, the thing is, and this is what you forget, Bree had the keys, and Bree was not at the establishment at the time to when they said that they brought K'Kenneka Jenkins out of the room. She wasn't there. Bree had text K'Kenneka saying, I am on my way. It's in the case files, people. So all you got to do is read. It's in the case files. K'Kenneka's phone was in the room unattended because you got several people who was there at the party stated that. So how could they be ready to go and ready to drive away when Bree already had the keys to the car? Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is a bogus narrative. One, because K'Kenneka was never there. She was already deceased. So they had to lie. They had to play like, oh, well, this is K'Kenneka texting on her phone. Well, peoples, if you go back and look at all of the text messages that K'Kenneka does, K'Kenneka doesn't even speak in the manner to which they were texting. Oh my God, peoples, boy, am I busting your bubble? Am I really busting your bubble? They said that K'Kenneka had text someone said, I'm ready to go. And then 30 minutes later, Shemaya replies back, me too. Well, people, that's 30 minutes. So from 1:30 to 2 o'clock, what was they doing? Because remember, they were supposed to have came in at 1:13. So 30 minutes from the time to when she was supposed to have text Shemaya and say, I'm ready to go. And then Shemaya texts back and said, me too. Well, that takes you to the 2 o'clock hour. So what happened between 1:13 and the 2 o'clock hour from when you get the last text from K'Kenneka, supposedly? And then 30 minutes after that, well, it was stated that K'Kenneka was getting off the elevator and walking the halls of that establishment. The guy gets off the elevator and looks out, looks at her, gets on the elevator, goes back up to the front desk, and all like this and stuff. So people, that's only 1 hour and some change, because 1:13 to 2:30 is an hour and some change. So how did she get to the 11th floor within that hour or so? How did she be in TY's live and Irene's live and within that hour or so, peoples? The time doesn't add up. How could she get so inebriated? How could the kids have taken her out of Irene's live? And it's only been an hour or so for all of this stuff to happen. It couldn't happen, peoples, because everything didn't happen on the same day. It's what I've been trying to tell you. How did she get out of Irene's live? How? Nobody can ever answer that question, right? How did K'Neka get out of Irene's live, peoples? Nobody ever answered that question. It was different days, peoples. It was different days when all of this stuff had taken place. Different days. K'Neka was never in TY's live because she was never around to be alive. And I've already proven that. Y'all say, oh yeah, that was K'Neka. That was K'Neka in the room and she answered the door and all like this. People know it was people who was dressed up like her. Because again, just like I stated, how did all of this stuff happen within an hour or so worth of time? How could K'Neka be in Irene's live? How could K'Neka be in TY's live? How could K'Neka be out in the hallway or downstairs, like TM said, because TM said it herself. TM said that the kids had taken her and left her in front of the lobby. How could that happen, peoples? So how is the kids is going to go leave out the room, get this girl downstairs and stuff, only to leave her down there, go back upstairs and go party? Because even Irene had said herself that the girls had stayed and partied. And at some point in time, they came and said, K'Neka's missing. And she said, what do you mean K'Neka's missing? Go find her. They said, K'Neka's missing. What do you mean? How could a grown girl come up missing? But see, Irene already knew the play. She already knew. And Irene got tired because that's why she said that, I'm tired of covering up for you all. You guys got to come and confess. Y'all remember that, right? I already knew the play. I already knew what happened to K'Neka. Everybody knew what happened to K'Neka. But it wasn't only K'Neka. It's more than just K'Neka, peoples. K'Neka was never at the establishment on the night. You can never put that girl at the establishment on the night. That's why I keep trying to tell you guys, because even if you try, you still can't even answer the question of what I just mentioned right now, because it was only about an hour or so before all of this stuff was supposed to happen. And all of that couldn't have happened within no hour or so. She gets there, she gets mad drunk, then she goes and she walks the halls. Really, peoples? I mean, you had to do an Houdini trick. It takes some time for anybody to get drunk. So somebody's just going to get mad drunk within an hour worth of time, peoples? Really? I mean, that's what you're telling me, because from 1:13 to 2:30, that's only about an hour or something, peoples. And see, this is what you guys don't realize what you're saying. When you want to give a narrative, you don't you don't realize what you're saying. So how could all of this stuff happen within an hour or so worth of time? It couldn't happen, peoples. How could they transport her body all over the establishment, peoples, within an hour worth of time? So what you're telling me is this whole case evolves around an hour or so worth of time. Time skimp. She's getting out the elevator. Time jumps. She's over here in this hall. Time jumps. She's in the kitchen. Time jumps. She by the stairs. Time jumps. I mean, peoples, think about what you're saying. It takes time for her to get from one end of the establishment to the other end of the establishment, for the kids to get her out in a hallway, to come up to the room, get the keys or whatever, and do all of this stuff. It takes time. And you only got an hour and some minutes of time before everything starts to come to a head. And all of this stuff could not have happened within no hour or so worth of time. It's not going to happen. Irene, you see the people coming in. You see the people leaving. How is a girl going to go and get inebriated, get drunk, walk some halls of that establishment and stuff, all within an hour or so worth of time? It ain't going to happen, peoples. It's not going to happen, peoples. It's not going to happen. You have to understand, peoples, that and once you come to the realization and conclusion that it was more people than just K'Kenneka that got commandeered. Okay, so now let's bring up the assault that was supposed to have happened at the establishment, because remember, they had on the dispatch there was an assault, 2 assaults and battery. Where did we see the paramedics? They called for the paramedics to come down. They called for a police escort. Did you see the paramedics come into the establishment? Have anybody ever showed you any video footage of the people coming to the establishment? Any paramedics coming to the establishment and taking anyone out of the establishment? You never seen it. So if you never seen that, peoples, well then how can you say that all of this stuff had happened to K'Kenneka and all of this other stuff was supposed to have taken place? How, peoples? That's why I played back the police report, all of the transmissions from the police, the 911 calls and everything and stuff. And then in the 911 call, you hear the people say that my friend was here last night. Last night. That's the key right there, peoples. Last night. So what? They're going to wait a whole day to call 911? Really, peoples? See, that's the thing that you guys miss. They said my friend was here at the Crown Plaza Hotel last night. Well, if it was last night, people, that means that a day had to go by. A day had to go by. So at what point in time did the 911 calls happen? See, nobody is even thinking about that, peoples. Nobody is looking at that. Y'all so hell-bent on giving you narratives and things, you're not even looking and thinking about what you're saying. That's why I played back the videos on last night, so you can have a greater understanding as to what I'm trying to convey to you. It ain't no way, no matter how you shake it, no matter how you fake it, no matter how you slice it and dice it, peoples, it ain't no way all of this stuff could have taken place within an hour or so on September the 9th in the morning. And then with all of the time skips and all of the time jumping and stuff, peoples. No, peoples, no. No, peoples, no. Just with that alone tells you that it couldn't have happened on September the 9th. It couldn't have happened, peoples. Because if everything was supposed to go as planned, well, then it wouldn't be no reason for them to be editing video footage, right? It wouldn't have been no reason for them to put people in where these people never been. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, see, you guys said that she was taken to a pool and she was drowned in the pool. Well, people, if she was drowned in the pool, how could she be walking the halls of that establishment? How could it be on the morning of September the 9th? If she was drowned in the pool? If she was drowned in the pool, people, how did she get to the pool in the first place? Because, I mean, according to the video footage, nothing happened to her. She walked straight from the elevator straight into the freezer. So how could all of these other things that you guys are keep implementing in this particular case happen when the video footage is crystal clear? It gives you a cut and dry narrative. She walked from the elevator, she walked in the kitchen, she walked some halls, and then she walked herself straight into a freezer. Would that be the case, how could France Combe do anything to her? If that be the case, how could the beverage manager do anything to her? If that be the case, how could she be transported in a cart in a kitchen? If that be the case, how could she be carried from the halls? If that be the case, how did she get out Irene's live? If that be the case, how could she be left in front of the establishment according to TM and friends? If that be the case, how did she get out of Irene's life and then be sitting down with her head between her legs crying? Because if you listen to the live that I did on the other day, TM said that that was my niece that was outside of room 926 crying. But see, you guys took the narrative and then you twisted it around and you guys clearly said, oh yeah, that was K'Kenneka. That was K'Kenneka sitting outside the room crying. Why would K'Kenneka be sitting outside of a room crying for what? What, because somebody spanked her butt? Because somebody called her out of her name? Because somebody tried to touch her breasts? Or somebody tried to play with her kitty cat? Peoples, you got in the narratives that they said that his dick is little. And let me be a thought in peace. Well, if they're up there thoughting, well, how could they be doing anything and they up there worrying about people's little dicks? How can you do a split on a dick? How in the F you think you got here? Ha! Peoples, if they're giving you a narrative and talking about dicks and his dick is little, where in the hell is K'Kenneka doing all of this stuff, peoples? How would they know a man's dick is little if they wasn't up there doing something? How did K'Kenneka get to the 11th floor according to what the lady said? Because remember, she said that she saw her on the 11th floor with a couple of guys and a couple of girls. Well, how could all of this stuff have happened within an hour or so time, peoples? How? But nobody is explaining that. How, peoples? I mean, y'all seen all of the narratives that I just expressed, right? I said you seen all of the narratives that I just expressed. Well, you know, his dick is little. She was up on the 11th floor. She was supposed to be left in the hallway, or left in front of the establishment. She was supposed to be drowned in the pool. She's supposed to be walking the halls. She's supposed to be carried. She's supposed to be commandeered and placed in a plastic bag and brought all over the establishment. Franz K'Kade and his friend was supposed to have slammed her and did something to her and beat her up and did all of this stuff. I mean, peoples, look at all of the different narratives, but yet your only time frame is from 1:13 to 2:30 when she was supposed to have walked into the elevator and walked the halls of that establishment. Because from the elevator to the halls, peoples, they've already gave you a count as to where she is if that was her. Because if that was her, none of these narratives that you guys had even put in place can ever apply, because they gave you a timeline as to where she was. And you've seen her on camera. If that was her. So I don't understand how people can get all worked up and bent out of shape if you already know where she is. And they gave you the video footage to say, hey, this is K'Kenneka. Here she is. This is exactly what happened to her from this time to this time to this time. But peoples, we know that's not to be true. We know that's not to be true. And the video footage, that's all they gave you was clips. Even all of the people who's got all of this 36 hours of madness, you go back and you look at the video footage, you see these kids all everywhere over the establishment, but you don't see no K'Kenneka. You don't see no K'Kenneka in any of that video footage. The only thing that you see is a fake K'Kenneka walking in, and that's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. And then everything else, if you say that that's her, well, then she's already accounted for in all of the video footage. She's already accounted for. You see her walking the halls. You see her over here by the elevator. You see over here by stumbling the stairs. And then you see her walking to the freezer. If you say that's her, she's already accounted for. So if she's already accounted for, how could all of this other stuff that these people trying to interject into this case happen when they've already gave you what you needed to see? See, people, that's why I said it's time to put a cap on it. It's time to shut all of you up with all of these fictitious, hilarious, and nefarious narratives. Because if it was the case as what you say and what you see, and if all of the case files, all of the things that you see in this video was actual, factual, and true, people's would then the case is already solved. She walked herself in the freezer, laid down and died. She killed herself. That's it. That's all. It ain't no sense in having sleepless nights and including the beverage manager and Franz K'Kade and all of these people who's running around the establishment. People's all of that was just a distraction. It was just a distraction. Because you never seen Franz K'Kade and all of these people do anything to K'Kenneka. Now we've seen the beverage manager down there with Shemaya, the maintenance guy, the guy in the black hoodie, and the housekeeper down there, and the beverage manager was assaulting some girl that was dressed up in the same outfit as K'Kenneka. Y'all remember that? Showed you the video. And you seen Shemaya because you seen her attire. She was standing down there while the girl was getting assaulted. But it wasn't K'Kenneka. It wasn't K'Kenneka, peoples. And even the gang members had told you themselves of what they did to K'Kenneka. And I'm going to show you what he said. I'm going to show you his page. I'm going to show you what he said. So you got to understand, people, is that when you're talking about this case and you want to try to clue K'Kenneka all into all of these different places and things, well, then you need to make it make sense. You got to explain it in great detail. And y'all come on and hit that like button and don't treat me like a second-class citizen. I got all of these people on this channel, and I've only got 7 likes. Y'all come on here and hit that like button and keep me up in the algorithm. I'm giving you all of these juicies and stuff, and y'all treat me like a second-class citizen. Get in here and hit that like button. I don't care if you like me, if you hate me, or whatever. Come on and hit the like button. That's all it takes is to get those likes up and stuff. Now, y'all want to see the rest of this live? Y'all get me up on those likes and stuff. Get those likes up right now. And if the likes is not up within the next minute, people, I'm shutting down this live because, hey, it's already 11 o'clock. I've already did my part and explained what I needed to explain and stuff. You know, I'm not going to play these little tiddlywink games with you guys. So you guys got 1 minute. Hit that like button. Okay, so you guys are not going to hit the like button, huh? All right, I think I'm just going to go ahead and shut down this live because I'm not going to play tiddlywinks on tonight, peoples. I'm just not. I'm not going to play tiddlywinks on tonight. You know, not going to go ahead and pour up my heart and soul and things for you guys and stuff, and then this is the thanks that I get. And let me go ahead and shut all of these things down. I don't know what happened here, peoples. All of these lives like came and started all at the same time. That's crazy. See, I still got this right here, peoples. Crazy. See, I was going to go ahead and I was going to play that of what Casey was expressing too, because I got all of the voice recordings. It was so much I was going to do tonight and stuff, but y'all not hitting that like button. So, all right, people. So I'm fit to shut down this live. You know, I had enough. Till you guys want to come on and start treating me right and start treating me like a man who, you know, is taking care of business, then it's time for me to just come back again. All right, so y'all hitting that like button. All right, we're at 9. I need to be at 12. I need 3 more likes. 3 more likes on this channel. We at 9. I need 3 more likes. Y'all give me 3 more likes within the next 30 seconds. AJ, I don't take it personal, my friend, and it's a blessing to see you on tonight. I don't take it personal. See, what you don't understand is that I take my time, and I've been doing this for over 7+ years. Now, you guys want you guys want the information. I got the information. I'm walking this thing down. I'm telling you what I know, and I'm challenging all of the narratives that the people are given and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, I need to stay in the algorithm. So my question to you is, did you subscribe to the channel and did you hit that like button? You know, you want to sit here, you want to chime out and things and stuff. So, you know, you guys got to understand. I mean, hey, you know, it's a give and take. Now, if I can come up on the live and I can talk to you guys and stuff, well, then you guys can come on and you guys can keep me on the algorithm. So the only thing I just ask is you guys hit that like button and keep me on the algorithm. I mean, if I can get on here and be all night and, you know, give you guys some juicies and stuff, then you guys need to go ahead and, you know, keep me on the algorithm. All right, so I'm still at 9. So people, I'm about to shut down this live because, you know, it just seems like you guys are not listening to what I'm saying. I said I need 3 more likes. 3 more likes, and you guys are not doing it. So tomorrow is Friday. I don't have to go to work Monday. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day for you guys to come on in and, you know, take care of business and stuff. I'm gonna reserve this live. Hopefully, you know, you guys will come on in with a greater attitude and keep me up in the algorithm on tomorrow. And so, AJ, if you're not subscribed, come on and subscribe to the channel. And then come on and hit that like button. And then come on back again, my friend. And it's a blessing to see you. So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon tonight. Tune in again next time to when Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live. Edward Joseph Kitchen. Edward Joseph Gospel Hour. Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2025 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And AJ, you said if some likes make you leave, bro, I'm definitely never turning in again. Just to be honest. Okay, well, AJ, you know, you can get the fuck out of here. Because I frankly really don't give a fuck. You know, you just like all of the other people. You treat me like a second-class citizen like everybody else. So you can get the fuck out of here and you don't even have to bring your ass back. I really don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, the people are going to watch me anyway. You understand, my friend? So, God bless you all. Thank you for watching.
Nobody does it better. Sometimes I wish